President Obama is looking for a new top intelligence officer this morning, someone to oversee the nation's 16 intelligence agencies. This after Dennis Blair announces he's stepping down after several failures on his watch, including the Christmas Day bombing attempt, the Fort Hood massacre, and the failed bombing in Times Square.
But is Blair the only one to blame, or is he being used as a scapegoat by President Obama? Michigan Congressman Pete Hoekstra is the ranking member on the House Intelligence Committee, and he joins us this morning. So, Congressman, is Dennis Blair a scapegoat here? Somebody else to blame?
Oh, I really think that he is the scapegoat. You know, over the last number of months, we've witnessed that the president has a deep division in his national security team as to how he was going to confront and deal with this radical jihadist threat that we faced as a nation. He made a decision. I give him credit for making that decision, but I think he made the wrong decision. He decided to support the wrong half of his national security team, and he got rid of the consummate professional on his team.
And why is that? Why did Dennis Blair's head roll rather than, say, Janet Napolitano?
Well, like I said, there was a deep split in the president's national security team. There's Janet Napolitano, who has said, you know, I'm not worried about radical jihadism, but, you know, these are man-made disasters. You hear about Eric Holder saying, you know, I want to move the trials to New York City. I want to close Gitmo. This is a law enforcement situation. And then you have Dennis Blair, who clearly understood the threat from radical jihadism. He said we need to be forward-looking, we need to reach out, and we need to be going after these guys in Yemen and Pakistan. We need to be in the business of prevention rather than prosecution. The president made the decision. He was going with the legal effort against terrorism, and he was not going to go with a military or intelligence operation against radical jihadism. America is less safe today than what we were a week ago because of this decision.
I'm hearing this from a lot of Republicans. It's a very interesting point you're making. I want to go back, though, to something you just said a moment ago, which was he made the choice to support one side of the intelligence community within the Obama administration. Which is the right side? Which is the wrong side within the Obama administration?
Well, from my perspective, it has to be the side that Denny Blair represented. Denny Blair tried to reach out and forge a consensus with Congress. He was very open and forthright with us. He spoke the truth. He also recognized the threat and said that if we are going to stop the kinds of attacks that we've seen over the last 6 months, Fort Hood, Christmas Day, Times Square, we need to be very, very aggressive overseas. We need to use all of our intelligence tools because these are very, very difficult events to stop. I want to be aggressive. The president said we're going to step back. We're not going to use all of these tools, and we're going to use a law enforcement approach. That's why I think we're going to be more vulnerable. I believe we need to be much more aggressive overseas.
But, Congressman, hold on a second, because Dennis Blair was tasked with coordinating these 16 disparate intelligence agencies. So if he was doing such a good job, as you're saying, why did we see the Fort Hood massacre? Why did we see the debacle of the Christmas Day bomber?
Well, I think that, you know, what we've seen, and we're dissecting each of those situations as to where the system broke down. I think what Dennis Blair and this administration and what America is also suffering from is, you know, we passed intelligence reform at the end of 2004. So now in 5 years, we've had 3 directors of national intelligence, and soon we will have our 4th. No one has been able to come into that job and really do the necessary work to break down the barriers between the various agencies and actually get them to work the way that we wanted them to work, that we envisioned them to work, because none of them have been on the job long enough. The intelligence community still looks a whole lot more like what it did before 2001, what it looked like before 9/11, than what we thought it would look like after we passed intelligence reform. We need somebody to stay in that job for 3 or 4 years and do the work and put in the reforms that we envisioned.
Interesting points, and it'll be interesting to see who can come in that role and break up a bureaucracy like that. Congressman Pete Hoekstra, we appreciate you joining us this morning on Fox and Friends. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Congressman.
Hey, good. Thank you.
All right, there's a frightening